Welcome back. Denise Jones's story begins much differently than she finds herself now. Following years of drug addiction, troubles with the law, and immeasurable loss, she's using her life lessons to inspire others. She introduced herself to the world in her memoir, Who Said It Couldn't Be Done? A Diamond from the Rough. Now she's bringing her journey to the stage with a new play coming to New Life Covenant Church. Welcome, Denise Jones. Thank you for joining us.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Your story is so powerful, and it's one thing I want you to talk about the book, and then also just transforming it on stage. I'm sure that's almost a trip to be able to see your life portrayed and being a part of that. So talk to me about the development of your book, and then we can get into the play.
Absolutely. So this story was started because I've written a book, so it's an adaptation from the book title, Who Said It Couldn't Be Done, right? And upon writing this story, you know, I wanted to have other ways of how can this message be conveyed for those who don't like to read, right?
Sure.
And this is how we came about with the stage production.
And so you are not acting in it, you are helping produce it and facilitate to make sure your story is told as accurately as possible. Talk to me a little bit about that process.
Absolutely. I mean, and this is a process because within the book, it's like there are 6 stories into one book, right? And we're trying to go through and sort out and get what is the best way to really tell this story in a good way, right? And so that's where we're at. This is like the third adaptation of it. The first time was in 2019. The second time we had Ife Butler write on it and directed. This time we have Jaleesa Marcel. She's from the Virgin Islands, so she has did a write on it to really bring it up to another level.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so are you a part of the casting process as well, of like who portrays you and who portrays maybe members of your family? How are those decisions made?
Yes, so I am certainly a part of it, but not fully being the real artistic director piece of it, right? Because for me, I would want to go out and find the identical Denise, right? The identical Annie.
Yeah.
But, you know, finding something that is very close to it and who can really embody the story. So that has been a real experience.
What are some themes from the book and now also the play that are portrayed and that you hope people get out of hearing your story?
Well, one of the things I'm hoping that individuals be able to walk away with when they come into the room, you might have came in the room weak, you know, you might have came in the room with suicide thoughts or just like feeling like you was hopeless, right? So I'm hoping that the person who's come in the room can walk out at least feeling like I can make it. If Denise did it, her mom did it, I can do it.
And you also have, don't you have other programs that you are able to be a part of to help, whether it's young women or just other people that have a similar background to you?
Absolutely. So I have a non-for-profit organization, which is Tender Touch Inc., right? And within this program, we mentor them through the steps of transitioning from having the addictive mindset. How can we modify the behaviors in order to make a transition in their life?
Is there, I mean, everything about your testimony, there's so many difficult parts, and then being a diamond in the rough, coming out of that from all of that pressure. Is there one particular moment or one particular maybe season of your life that sticks out to you, or a space where you really learned the most?
Yeah, you know, one of the things is, and not to just really go too far with it because I want them to see the story.
Yeah, don't spoil it, folks. No, don't spoil it now.
No, but one of the biggest things was when I was able to feel this big light on the inside break to offer me to know that I'm going to have freedom, and I never have to look back to, you know, being addicted, right? Or committing crimes. So that's one of the things that I hold on very dear. That big light, when that light opened up, that gave me the light. Denise, you on your way.
Yeah. What is a maybe like central theme or mindset that keeps somebody trapped in that space where they're not able to see the light? What are some of those thoughts that people may have?
Some of the thoughts, and I'll have to speak for me, right?
Sure.
It's the pride. It's the shame. It's the embarrassing, feeling like you're the only one, right? Because all the while I was in my addiction, I was always told that I was going to always be a dope fiend and nothing, right? That nobody was going to ever be there to help me or support me. But as we look at it today with 40 years of sobriety, I later learned that it was true. I had to first accept who I was and accept that I needed some help. I had to take ownership of what was happening with me in order to break free.
How proud of you are you of yourself?
You know, I wish I had a whole lot of time to tell you, but I am extremely, extremely proud. I was just talking to my sister on the way here, and I was telling her, I said, one thing you can say about your big sister, out of 40 years, she never looked back. She never turned back. And then to sit here with my master's degree and then own my own commercial business. So I'm excited. That's just huge.
Yeah, and it's okay to be proud of yourself. I feel like you talked about the pride and that holding on to you, but then you can be confident and proud of yourself. Pride and being proud are two different things.
Absolutely.
And I'm sure this has heavily impacted your family.
Absolutely. You know, and out of 5 of us, with my mom introducing all 5 of her children to the street life, right? And then it was for her to turn her life around to give us the opportunity to be able to get our lives together. So I'm really excited about this.
Yeah, and like showing generational cycles can be broken, and it's all good stuff.
Absolutely. You know, and to be able to go inside the prisons, and a lot of times when we're in there and they tell me, I know you hate your mother. I know you don't like your mother. She did this to you. And then to be able to stand up and turn and say, Mother, could you stand and answer that question? It's like the wows.
Wow.
And to see her standing there, 80 years old, right? And still moving with fire and excited. It's just real excited.
What message do you have to those who maybe are hesitant to see the play, or maybe they're like, oh, maybe I'll feel convicted after I read this book? Like, what pull do they need to be able to just show up or to just read the book?
Right. Listen, because I have so much social media out there talking about the story, talking about the things that I went to, just preparing people, you know, for what they're about to come into, right? And come in with an open mind. And know that this is my story that I'm telling, that it might be able to help somebody. That's all I ask them, is to give themselves an opportunity. It might not be for you, but it might be for your child. It might be for your siblings. So just have an open mind and come in and walk away with hope.
Yeah, seeing a positive testimony is good for anybody.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, thank you so much. You can see Beyond the Door Saturday, August 22nd. There's 2 shows that day at New Life Covenant Church in Humboldt Park. For more information, visit beyondthedoorplay.com. Thank you.